Hey everyone, I'm back here tonight or this morning, whenever you're watching the video, to go through some diaphragm breathing. Yay! Okay, so diaphragms. I always thought of the diaphragm as the respiratory diaphragm. And before I started studying anatomy and physical therapy, I didn't realize that there are actually multiple diaphragms in the body, including a pelvic diaphragm. So one of the best things that we can do or that anyone can do for the health of the internal organs and the health of the pelvic floor and the musculoskeletal system and the nervous system and basically every system of the body is to spend a little bit of time on focused breathing every day. And it doesn't have to be complex or complicated. But I'm going to focus tonight on seeing if we can get a sense of how the diaphragms do move in the body. So a diaphragm is a muscle that travels horizontally through the body, in contrast to many of the muscles of our musculoskeletal system, like the biceps or the muscles in the forearm or the muscles in the legs. This, by the way, is Frances. She doesn't like to be picked up, but she'll help me with my breathing tonight. Which all of those muscles, the legs, are longitudinal, right? They run lengthwise or long in the body. Diaphragms are muscles that cut straight through in this horizontal plane. And they're dome-shaped muscles. So the pelvic floor, which isn't really a great term for that group of muscles, is it? Because it is certainly not a floor of muscles. The pelvic floor is not hard, it's not flat. It's also a diaphragm. So we're going to focus on those two diaphragms, the respiratory diaphragm, which is a dome-shaped muscle that sits up under the rib cage, and the pelvic diaphragm, which connects from the pubic bone to the tailbone. So if you haven't had a chance already, please watch one of the videos that Steph made that goes over some of the pelvic floor anatomy and some other anatomy of the pelvis, so that you can really understand this part of the body as we work with it through the breath. I'm going to show you the pelvic diaphragm because I do have a model right here. So here I have a pelvis, and if I take the pelvic organs out and we look down into the pelvis like this, so this would be as if we cut the body straight through in that direction. What you can see here is a dome, a beautiful dome of muscle. So it sits in this position at the base of the spine or the base of the body. I'm sitting on my pelvic diaphragm right now. Respiratory diaphragm, pelvic diaphragm. Mirror images of one another, okay, but flipped. The purpose of a diaphragm in the body is to move. Okay, so those muscles ideally ought to be moving all the time. You can think of your respiratory diaphragm and your pelvic diaphragm like kind of like a jellyfish. And even you can go to a video and watch how jellyfish move through the water on YouTube or something, and you can see that they kind of go up and down and open and close in this way continuously and in a very fluid and free way. Excuse me. So that's what we want to be happening at the respiratory diaphragm, as the same thing is happening at the pelvic diaphragm. Okay, I'm not going to do a whole lot more teaching on that because I really would rather that you feel it in your body. But again, please check out Steph's video so that you can have a better sense of that anatomy in that part of your body. for now, what we'll do is we'll just dive in and we'll do some breathing. I'm gonna move that blanket out of the way. So go ahead and lie down on your back in a constructive rest position. So that position is knees bent, feet flat. My lower body might get cut off a little bit, but like this, and then just laying straight back on your back. You could also take a couple of pillows or a yoga bolster and put that under your knees. So just go ahead and slide that under. I like to use a yoga bolster, so I'll go ahead and use that tonight. And if you need to put a thinly folded blanket under your head to support your neck or something like that, you're welcome to. I really prefer to lie flat, but that's up to you. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and just make myself comfortable by taking my hair out and make any adjustments that you need to settle in there. You can also be in bed for this. You could remain sitting for this. You could be in a comfortable chair. I like the floor, but I switch it up. I do this breathing in bed as well. We're going to start with the respiratory diaphragm. So place your hands on your ribs, kind of the front or the sides of the ribs. Find a position that's comfortable for you. And you are welcome to close your eyes at this point. I'm going to keep recording the video, but you don't really need to see me anymore. So you can just close your eyes and follow the instructions of my voice. Without doing anything here at first, just start to notice the way that your body feels. You might start to naturally become aware of your breath. Don't try to change it. Just let the breath do what it wants to do. So if that's shallow breathing, if you notice your body naturally taking a deep sigh, just let anything happen that needs to happen right now. And begin to feel the back of the body. Sinking into the floor or whatever surface that you're on. And then begin to feel the front of the body sinking into the back of the body. Relax the corners of the eyes. And relax the corners of the mouth. And very gently begin to deepen your breath. Allowing the inhale and the exhale to both become a little bit longer and a little bit fuller. And see if you can start to feel your breath moving your ribs. There's no right or wrong or good or bad with this sort of exploration of breath and of body. So notice what you notice, adjust when you need to adjust. We're going to take a couple of breaths here, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as if you're blowing out candles. And I want you to stay focused using the support of your hands that are there on what's going on in your ribs. So when you're ready, you can just take a normal breath in and a normal breath out. And then in through the nose. Out through the mouth. Two more like that. Allow your breath to return to a natural rhythm. Notice what you notice. Allow your breath to do what it wants to do. And then take your hands now onto your low belly. And allow your fingertips to be at the very top edge of your pubic bone. And the outer edges of your hands to be just inside of your hip bone, with the thumbs coming together. So you're kind of going to make a triangle on your body. And your thumbs will be probably just below the level of the belly button. Find your breath again. So as my system starts to shift a little bit and calm down and relax into the earth, one thing that I'm noticing is that I've needed to take a couple of yawns. So anything like that that's happening for you, just let that happen during these moments in between more guided or directed breaths, as you're just noticing what's happening in your body and with your breath. Now begin to breathe into your hands that are resting on your belly, or breathe into your belly. And as you inhale, just notice the abdomen rising. As you exhale, notice the abdomen falling. And you can exhale here however you want to. If it felt good to blow out through the mouth as if you were blowing out candles, feel free to do that again. If it feels better to do something a bit quieter, feel free to do that. Inhale, belly rises. Exhale, belly falls. And just keep breathing into your belly. See if you can simultaneously bring your awareness into your pelvic diaphragm. So this is a dome, a basket of muscle. You're going to stay right where you are, just by the way. I'm going to sit up and keep talking you through this. Keep your eyes closed if that's comfortable for you. You can always open up and reference the video or look around your space or do what you need to do, but you're staying put and I'm sitting up so I can just focus a little bit more on the verbal instructions and you can just continue to follow my voice. So the hands are still on the belly. You're starting to shift your awareness into that pelvic diaphragm now. So down in here, low, 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 all the way down to your base. You might take a moment to notice what is happening at your anal opening. What can you feel there? What's happening at the vaginal opening, if you have a vaginal opening. The pelvic diaphragm wraps around those openings. It wraps around the sphincters. So sometimes if it's hard to feel the entire dome of muscle, it's helpful to orient to something more specific. And as you continue to breathe into your low belly, can you also breathe into your base? And we'll try a couple of different spots to see what works best for you. So go ahead and take a breath and see if you can just breathe into the anal opening. As you inhale, you might even feel a little bit of a swelling in the same way that the inhale creates a swelling in the belly. And then you might feel that tissue move back up and in a little bit as you exhale. Inhale, feel your anal opening swelling outwards. This is pretty subtle. Exhale, feel the anal opening gently drawing up and in. And one more breath at your own pace when your body is ready. Inhale and feel that anal opening gently swell or expand, sort of down towards your feet. Exhale, feel it moving back up in towards your body. And then bring your attention to your perineum or your perineal body, which is just in front of the anal opening and just behind the vaginal opening. So you can check this later. I'm going to show you on the model where that is, but it's right in between those two holes. And if you have male anatomy, it's going to be right behind the scrotum and right in front of the anus. So it's a big, thick, muscular zone of the body. I would also encourage you to place a finger on your perineum. If you can reach comfortably, you can also reposition yourself so that you can reach it. And once you've connected, whether that's physically through touch or just mentally through your mind with that part of your body, see if you can feel your breath there. Same thing as with the anal opening. As you inhale, you might be able to feel a little bit of a swelling. And as you exhale, you might be able to feel just a release of that swelling or a gentle movement up in towards the body. Take a couple of breaths there. Inhaling, feeling your perineum swell, expand, and lengthen with your breath. Exhale and feel that tissue just flow back in towards your center. Okay, up and into the body. Finally, just stay at your perineum if you don't have a vagina, and if you do, bring your awareness into your vagina, right? The part of the genitals that are inside of the body for people with female anatomy and 3 holes. And same thing, take a couple of breaths in and out, almost as if you were breathing from your vagina itself. And just notice what you notice. And if it's not a whole lot of anything, that's okay too. One last instruction that I'll offer, which I find very useful, in addition to in place of whatever feels good for you, to placing a finger on the perineum, is to place a hand over the genitals as a whole unit. So I don't have a male pelvis here, but you could do it with that too. So here it would just be placing the palm of your hand. So earlier when we were on the belly, the fingertips were touching the top of the pubic bone, right? And the hands were kind of inside the hips. You could put the palm of your hand over the middle of the pubic bone and just gently wrap your hands underneath of you so that you're cupping your entire vulva, right? So sometimes laying on your side is a little bit more comfortable for that, depending on how long your arms are, or like propping yourself up on a few pillows in bed. But just cupping your hand over the vulva in a supine position or a lying down position and taking a couple of breaths there. You could keep your other hand on your low belly. I think that feels really nice. You could also place your other hand over your chest, your heart. There's no real rules to any of this. So if you found that one particular hand position was more comfortable than another one, like if you really liked having your hands on your ribs and you want to hang out there for most of the time, go ahead and do that. If you liked having your hands on your low belly, spend a little bit of time breathing there. Maybe you want to hit all of those spots. Maybe one day you do one thing and the next day you do another thing. These are ideas, and it's a bit of a map for you to start exploring your own body. The best instruction I can give you is to follow your bliss. Follow what feels right. Don't force yourself to do something that doesn't. And if you have questions, concerns, feedback, feel free to talk to your therapist about it. When you're ready, you can just rock your knees from left to right a couple of times just to get some blood flowing in your body. Spend as much time as you need doing that, and then roll to your side. Take a breath, and then you can push on up. Thanks for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that exercise, and please feel free to, again, comment individually with your therapist.